Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
I'm Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
This is the farm where we grow cross-stitch.
Today is Monday, June the 30th.
1 stitch at a time.
1 stitch at a time. We've already done this once. We've already done the intro once, so I'm screwed up. Today's Monday, June 30th. The camera was like crooked, and yeah.
I was looking at it, and I'm like, wait a minute. It literally, like, even the background was a little tilted. I'm like, okay, it's giving me vertigo looking at it. I don't want to hurt y'all's eyes. So we stopped. I jiggled the handle a little bit, and now it works perfectly. Surprising how that works for everything.
I know, right? So my brain is not clicking.
Well, mine's not trumpeting.
Well, you know. How are you all doing today on this, the last day of June?
Bye, June. We knew you well.
Goodbye, June. Friday is July 4th, if you're here in the States. It's a holiday. Tomorrow is Canada Day, if you're in Canada.
I have to poke fun at my Canadian friend tonight.
The rest of the world, I'm not. I don't have anything.
Well, it's still the 4th of July. You just don't blow things up.
Yeah, you don't celebrate with explosions.
Which is a very American thing to do, honestly.
It probably is. Well, fireworks originated in China, but...
Yeah, I know, but...
we take it next level.
Yeah. Actually,
how was everybody's week last week?
I had the perfect week.
You had a great week. You had a 3-day work week.
I basically was a bum Monday and Tuesday. Just played video games, swam in the pool. Barely did anything. And to me, that's a great birthday.
That's exactly. You need to enjoy your birthday. Yes, I lived in the pool last week because it was hot.
Don't worry, I joined her.
I have to laugh. A couple of my British friends were talking about how warm it is right now, where they're at. 83 and 87 Fahrenheit, respectively. That's cool for us.
We're in the 90s.
Yeah, we were in the 90s last week.
Yeah, I remember one person like, "Oh my God, it is 70." They said it was 25 degrees, and it was so hot. I looked up at them and went, "You know that's the set point for my air conditioning unit at work, right?" And they went, "What?" "Yeah, we all have air conditioning because of 74 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 24 to 25 degrees Celsius, maybe 23 to 25. Don't know exactly. That's comfortable temperature. That's what we set our air conditionings to. The reason why so many people in the States have air conditioning is because it gets that much hotter outside."
Yeah, it's true.
There are actually states where I actually think not having an air conditioner should be considered a crime.
Right?
I got some friends in Arizona. I got some friends in Florida. Y'all need help.
It's hot. Alright.
That's why they have air conditioning.
This is true. Well, it was a hot week last week. We survived. It's going to be mid to upper 80s this week. Mid 80s this week. Saturday and Sunday it's going to hit 90 something again.
I know, we're doing Saturday and Sunday.
We're doing Saturday for a while.
I know what I'm doing Friday morning. The lawn.
Well, yeah. So yeah. Other than, your birthday, we didn't do a whole lot.
Went down to Amish country.
We went to, well, yeah, it's true. We went to Amish country, Saturday. Oh, no, yeah, it was Saturday. They with it. Got our supplies from the ashery and went to Zink's fabric store.
And Mrs. Yoder's.
And Mrs. Yoder's. I will show you what I got from Zink's when we get to home.
One thing I'll say about Mrs. Yoder's, if you're ever in the middle of Ohio and you're near Mount Hope and you want to go for Mrs. Yoder's, either show up at 11 o'clock when they open or be prepared to wait for lunch. They fill this not small building within a half hour.
But honestly, like, we've gone in there and had to wait, and it's not been a long wait. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, but it's still like...
I mean, yes, there is still a wait. So, but it's like, everybody I talk to, I say Mrs. Yoder's, and they say it's the best place to eat in Amish country. So, that's our opinion.
Mm-hmm. They have a buffet. It might be simple, but it's good, simple food. It's like, this is roast beef from Good Cow. Probably grew up a couple miles away.
More than likely. So, yes, we enjoy going Amish. So yeah, pretty calm week. Not a whole lot going on. Not a whole lot going on this coming week.
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday we have MNG.
Then Thursday night.
Thursday night we're going to fireworks, to watch fireworks in Wellington. Friday nights, whatever the local people put on, and Saturday night's actually the Village of Grafton's fireworks.
And if it's warm enough, I'm watching fireworks from the pool. I don't care if I can directly see them. The idea of being in my pool, watching the glow of fireworks, tickles my funny bone.
Well, shall we shout out our commenters?
Sure.
All of the people that wished this wonderful man a happy birthday.
Thank you. June, Teresa, Bridget, Andrea, Andre, Pasha.
Thank you all so much for commenting. Thank you everybody who watches and doesn't comment. Although we would like you to comment. Thanks for watching at least.
Literally just emoji us. Heck, poop emoji.
Poop emoji! When my youngest niece was like, oh gosh, I don't know. She was probably, it was early elementary, so like 1st or 2nd grade. She was obsessed with poop emoji.
Didn't you have one that farted?
No, but they have this one thing that I can't remember what it's called, but like it's basically hide and seek with the poop emoji. You hide it and it starts making noise until you pick it up that you have found it, and then it sings a song to you about it being some sort of, I can't remember, poop emoji. Yeah.
Okay.
Whips!
I play video games, or passed out, or pool time.
Correct. Alright.
I haven't even played video games as much as I wanted to because I had pool time.
Pool time. Alright. We'll start with the Star-Touched Meadow Sal. This week was Standing Stones Week in Daily 30. So Star-Touched Meadow Sal was my Sal offering, and this was the January Burlock.
I think you just went through 3 different months.
I just froze, couldn't remember. And I did 308 stitches. All of it on this side because this is all I have left to do.
Yay!
I actually have this bottom quarter and the border, and that's it. So yay, how about that? This is on a 16 count white Aida. Might be 18 count, but I think it's 16 count. That's that. And then I did the 3 of the 4 prompts I did on one project. The project Stitch on Your Oldest Whip I worked on. You saw it last week. It was to finish up my nativity. The project I picked to work on for the other 3 prompts that I stitched on was Long Dog Samplers Leave a Kiss. My friend Glenna gave this to me. My friend Glenna passed away this year, so I get a little sad every time I stitch on this.
Yeah, but if you don't finish it, you're going to get a boot up the backside while you're sleeping.
Probably. So, we'll come back to Glenna in a minute, though. This is on a piece of 18 count, Aida in gun metal. I did 1,338 stitches. All over here. I stitched from about here. I stitched the bottom corner of this inside bit twice because I screwed it up the first time. Go me.
There we go. Right?
Yep. So making good progress on this. That was for something that's repetitive, whip of choice, something that has something interesting in the design, and then Something that is not what it seems I used my free pass on. And I made the realization, I don't know if I talked about this last week, I made the realization that it had been almost a month and a half since I stitched on one of my yearlies. It was like May the 4th was the last time I stitched on a yearly. So I took out one of my yearly projects. I need to get fabric and the flosses together to start the fox, which replaces the reindeer, which is finished. And I did a bunch of stitches on Fairy House because I worked on it for a May the 4th pop-up. So I busted out the pirate, my snowman pirate.
Arrgh!
I had to finish part of point 11, and then I worked on it. So I finished part of point 11, worked on point 12 on this. This is just on a piece of 32 count heirloom fabric. So that was 703 stitches, and basically got the red of the coat done. This coral color, and then I started some of the gold on his coat trim. There's some gold in here that needs done, but so we're doing good. I mean, I have the pirate, the snowman to finish. He's holding a pirate flag too. When I get there for
Woohoo!
So that's been my stitching this week. I know it doesn't make for a very interesting Flosstube when I stitch on just one thing for all the prompts, but it does make me happy because I get lots of stitches in on that one thing.
Comment below, does it bother you?
Tuesday I had my card making class, so I made some pretty cards. The first one, it says thank you so much, and it opens up in the middle, and it says words fail to express my gratitude. It's very pretty. This is just a folded paper technique. It's a nice one. This one says aging fine like cheese and wine, and it's one of those fun fold cards. It opens like this, and it just says happy birthday, and the splotches are supposed to look like wine. This cute little guy, there's not a whole lot to this one, but it is very lovely because of the papers and stuff. What does it say? It says you are seriously the best. And then it just, the small part opens up.
And sometimes simple is good.
Yes. And then this one, I love this one. I need this embossing folder. There's nothing inside of it. It is just a big giant sunflower. Just a note.
Wonder why she likes that one.
Yes. And this was done on yellow cardstock, and you inked the embossing folder. So when you ran it through the machine to squish it, the ink on the high spots transferred to the ink on the low spots transferred to the, well, it would have been the high spots on the embossing folder made the low spots on the card, and it all transferred to the, there we go. I got there. So that was card making class. That's whips. That's what we did this week.
One quick thing. To anybody whose eardrums I broke, I'm sorry I had too much fun with the bell because I was so excited she finally got done, Nativity.
Yes, there was lots of rejoicing in the comments also about getting Nativity finished finally.
So my excitement was contagious.
Yes.
Because, oh my dear Lord, you were so done with that thing.
I'm very done with that thing. So, from Zinks, I bought a couple pieces of fabric that I have no real necessary need for. Scissors and spools of thread. This was on a they have like a remnants table. So anything that's, I think they take $1 off of the price per yard or something like that. And this is just scissors. What we really went down there for was flannel, cotton flannel fabric, which is what this is, so I can make more of these guys. These are, I call them unpaper towels. I've heard them called unpaper towels. They're cotton flannel fabric. The edges serge. Now that I have my tiny serger, my edges won't be rounded, but they'll be serged nicely. Because these are great to dry your hands and use in the kitchen. And then this is...
I got something.
Joe picked out this panel. It's a choo-choo train.
Can I tell the story?
Yeah.
We couldn't find it on the counter. So I was like, well, we're like, you know what, let's go ask the lady. And she was like, oh, yeah, that's the last one. She opened up a book and they're like, oh, this is our last one. I'll go get that down for you then.
So I'm going to make it into like a wall hanging quilt. This is easily something I can probably quilt on my machine here at home, my basic machine here at home.
I don't know if we'll sideways or not.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But it also probably would be something good for me to take and learn how to use the long arm quilting machine at the North Ridgeville Library, because the North Ridgeville Library, which is 20 minutes from our house, has a long arm quilting machine.
Oh, so you're going to use that for fun times, huh?
I may actually take this up there and quilt this on that, just as something small to start with and get the...
Yeah, considering how much more work that is than what I originally said to do, I just said run a serger on the edges and be done with it.
Well, what I'm going to do with it is what you're supposed to do with it. And then I got a measuring tape thingy. Did I need another measuring, another flexible measuring tape? No. However, every time I go to look for one of these suckers, because I have like several that are not in the little cases, I can't find them. And I actually have a small measuring tape in my purse that I forgot about when I was looking for one of these the other day. Because I was looking for it because I have undertaken the task of making a banner for for the Divine Mercy Cynical group that I'm in, that meets on Thursday mornings. And we could get a little banner that kind of goes up when we have what's called our Spotlight Weekend, which is where we set up and folks can kind of come by and see what we're about and maybe pick up material. But we decided, it was suggested to us we get a banner, and I think the suggestion is worthy because it just is kind of like, it grabs your attention. So I'm working on that with going to this sublimation printer. I actually have to go out there tomorrow and pick up some things that I got to make us a couple of shirts for 4th of July. Part of why I did the shirts for us for 4th of July is so that I could figure out sizing on the printing and how it looks before I jumped into this other project. One of the ones that I bought when I was out there a couple weeks ago, I finally got onto a t-shirt. It's upstairs. I didn't bring it down here. It says, I bleed scarlet and gray. If you really want to see it, go find me on Instagram and follow me on Instagram. You probably will see it at some point because I'll end up wearing it at some point.
Next week, should we wear will you have the 4th of July stuff by then?
I'm supposed to be able to go. So my little order confirmation says that it will be ready to pick up either tomorrow or sometime between tomorrow and Thursday. And the gal actually said, if you order it on a work day, like a Monday through Saturday, or Monday through Friday, A lot of times they'll have it printed the next day. I ordered it on Sunday, so
Tuesday.
I'm hoping tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest, so I can zoom out there, pick them up. I mean, even if I don't get it till Thursday, I can still get it made by Friday.
Because they'll be funny.
They'll be funny, yes. I mean, it's just a matter of ironing it onto the shirt. The hardest part for me right now with that actually is I don't have the heat press iron. I'm just using our household iron, which is not ideal for those sorts of things. But as long as you can temp the iron, you can do it. And we have a infrared heat gun. And so I used that, and it seems to have worked okay. So
are we gonna be getting you a heated press and one of those silk machines?
I don't need a silk machine.
Oh, I didn't know how far into this t-shirt rabbit hole you were willing to go.
So sublimation printer? No, I don't want to get a sublimation printer, because that's like a whole separate printer from like your regular inkjet printer. And honestly, sending them to that place in Medina is pretty reasonable cost to get them printed.
Okay, moving on. So,
and I have a Cricut, or I have a scan and cut, which is operates like a Cricut, so I can do some of this stuff myself too. That's about as far as we're getting into it with making the t-shirts. All right, let's discuss plans. I have to find the list though.
I have really simple plans. I broke my, I was trying to cut something in order to fix the AC upstairs, and I have very cheap cutters for my Gunpla, and one of the two edges to it snapped off, so tomorrow I gotta swing by the local craft store and buy a new pair of cutters. And then I'm gonna take the Gunpla I lost, box up all of it, and then I'll go grab one of my other Gunplas and get started on it, because I want to do my Gunpla. I miss doing my Gunpla. I want to do my Gunpla. I'm going to do my Gunpla this week.
There you go. Okay. So, this is a 200 stitch count week, so there is actually, theoretically, I could probably do all 5 prompts if I have something that fits them. I can say that one of them, well, when I get to that, we'll do that. So, let me read through them, and then we can kind of assess where we're at. So, this is for International Food Truck Week for Daily 30. Stitch on a whip that has a horse or something you might see on a cattle drive.
Okay.
Stitch on a whip that has something you would find in a city or on a street corner.
Okay.
Stitch on a whip using white floss. Stitch on a whip with food or drink. Stitch on a whip of choice, and tell us if you were to own a food truck, what your food truck would be.
I think most of those fall into the stupidest one ever. Greyhound deer. It has rain clouds, which you'll see on a cattle drive. April has rain.
Yes, it does, I think.
I
know.
In a city, greyhounds.
I mean, you would see a dog on a cattle drive too. Not necessarily a greyhound, but dog.
I don't know if there's any white floss, but that one would be skipped.
So, I have the solution for that one. And actually, I believe that has food or drink on it.
Okay, does it have a picnic basket on one of them?
I'm pretty sure it has a glass of lemonade on one of them.
Okay.
And a watermelon on it, so. Okay, so as far as white floss goes, I pulled out, I'm going to, like, change my rotation up a little bit. For my Sal/full coverage prompt, number 6, it can be a Sal or a full coverage. Well, my succulent heart is full coverage. I'm on the white background. So it can qualify for the Sal full coverage prompt, but it also is, I'm stitching in all white floss, so it's good for the white floss also.
Okay, have fun.
So, and it gets me 500 stitches on it, doing it on both of those, so I'm good with that.
You play with your little flower heart.
I'm working on it. Actually, I am working on it right now. That's what I've been working on this afternoon. And then I don't have either one of them right here.
Don't we have a new monthly to deal with?
Hold, please. Okay, we're back. So for the July cross-stitch weekend. Cross-stitch weekend is this thing that started with Jen Lee of Quirks and Stitches. She started doing a 24 hours of cross-stitch marathon. It's grown from there, and now it's kind of a cross-stitch weekend she plans 4 of them a year. My little group of friends and I kind of came up with this idea of starting something new for each cross-stitch weekend. Because every weekend's cross-stitch weekend with us. So we decided to start something new for each of the cross-stitch weekends. We've been working on it. I think it is, it's July 18th, 19th, and 20th is cross-stitch weekend coming up. We have lost 2 friends of our friends group this year. One of them we didn't find out about for a while, which was kind of tough. Make sure that your family lets your online community know when you pass, because it was really hard to hear in May. I think it was May. I can't remember if it was April or May. At the end of April. No, it was after Easter. So it was in like May. That a friend of ours had passed away at the end of February. And nobody knew about it. So I'm just saying. So for our friend Laura King, we are starting the Nativity, the Tiny Town, Heart and Hand Tiny Town Nativity. Because she loved the tiny towns. And it was just a great. So we all just kind of thought that would be something great to start in her memory. For our friend Glenna, Glenna didn't really have a style. She was all over the place. So some people are working on stuff that speaks to them, and they make them think about Glenna. Some people are starting stuff that makes them think of Glenna. I actually got gifted from Glenna before her passing. It's called Dragon Queen. It's by Blackberry Rabbit, the Blackberry Rabbit. She had stitched this. She passed the stash pattern to me. I'm going to start this. She actually also passed me the fox pattern from Cottage Garden Sampling. So I could start either or. But I am going to start the fox at some point, so I'm going to start this. So, I mean, if you were in our friends bubble, or you knew either of these ladies, feel free to start something in their memory that weekend. That's what my plan is. Our core group of friends is going to get on our little private Zoom and spend time together. But we are not expanding the group because that's going to be a rough weekend for all of us. And yeah, I don't want people that are outside of our bubble in there. That sounds rude, but it's the truth. So, all right. It is thunderstorming. It is fixing to thunderstorm some more. I'm hungry. So that's plans. You're going to get the replacement parts, or the replacement so you can work on your Gunpla.
Replacement tool.
Replacement tool so you can work on your Gunpla. And
I might drag that downstairs when you guys Zoom.
Okay.
So I can harass you. Find a way of doing it downstairs.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, that's it for the week. What do we want those people to do?
Please like, comment, subscribe, bell thingy, all that YouTube stuff. Make Mr. Algorithm like us. Comment poop emoji. You know what? Please comment poop emojis if you normally do not comment. Or just the stuff, or if that's against your sensibilities, just do the emojis. And if you want to go old school, that's colon minus symbol capital P.
Okay, well, thank you all so much for spending some time with us this week. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope you were entertained. We hope you took something away from this. And we hope to see you again next week. Until then, I'm watching the trees do this number. So until then, we will see you next week.
Bye. Bye.